Hi everybody, here's Christian, and I'm from Teamwork Cast.
Hey everyone, this is Shepard, also from Teamwork Cast.
And Cthulhu, and we're all orange.
Except me, I'm green.
No, I was hoping they would have to pick up
My
on
joints
on
are
their
green.
own.
But yeah, we are about to find out what a girl wants.
You know what? It's almost as if you have armor on top of your armor.
It's
You've got two layers. It's not your joints. You're wearing a
makes
suit of
sense.
armor, and then you put your shell on top of that.
See, that makes sense. That explains why my limbs are thick as... I don't know.
Well, that's not. It's a family-friendly show, Christian.
Anyway, so Cthulhu, what are we doing today?
We're gonna hunt the Tigrex. With the quest, what a girl wants. The client is the worried brother.
It's a family show.
My little sis got mad at me for forgetting her birthday. Now the only way she'll forgive me is if I hunt her a Tigrex for a late birthday present. Please, Hunter, you gotta help me.
Wow.
That's how you know it's Japan. There's that innuendo.
I think that girl, the sister can go hide something in a place that's inappropriate because, forget a birthday by a day and you have to go hunt a
Yeah,
Tigrex.
Jesus Christ! Just like go kill yourself, brother.
Talk
Rude.
about entitled.
I mean, if there's one thing I'm looking forward to with my Japanese learning is like finally being able to read all these things in original language and see like what the original meanings were.
My understanding is that the Japanese love puns.
Oh yeah,
Confirm, deny.
yes. I think
Like
the
the
language
vast
lends
majority-
itself very well to puns because there's like thousands readings for everything.
And then also like misunderstanding context. Also big source of humor there because like a lot of it is implied.
Yes.
You can understand the implication.
So Shepard, I want to talk about something very important that is very, very important to my heart. And we had some comments on this, by the way. People do not like Battlestar Galactica, the board game. Or at least one person said they don't.
Well, look, not everyone can be right all the time.
Yes.
And I'm sure this is a good person, a good worker, a good family person.
Yes.
And I'm sure they are very successful in many elements of their life.
Yes.
But it's okay, they're wrong. And that's fine. That's okay. It's okay to be wrong sometimes.
Shepard is very, very it's very emotional about the specific subject.
It's not emotional, it's scientific.
Yes.
Like the genius Gaius Baltar, I have created a good board game detector. And all tests have shown that Battlestar Galactica is a very good board game.
So there's another board game that we mentioned last time around.
Wait, hold on. No, we can't just stop on that. What is the criticism again? Just so I can directly address it. And
I think he, the person that's commented was like, okay, he tried it once and he found it tedious or something.
Well, I could definitely understand if you were playing it for the first time in a large group of people that were still figuring out the rules. It could appear tedious.
Yeah, I think you need at least one try to understand what's going on, and then you can play the game.
Yeah, and I think something else that can be very difficult is if all right. So I'm gonna address two things very quickly. If you're a Cylon, it could be very easy to get sucked into playing the deep
He's
cover.
here, by the way.
Yeah, this is really sad that it took us this long to find him.
I just waved at the balloon. It was like, oh, he's in there with Christian.
It can be very seductive to want to play deep cover the entire game and then wait until like post sleeper to be like, you know what, maybe I should finally do something mean for once. So that's a trick. Don't let that happen to you. And if you're a human, and also if you're, because it all comes down to me, it's pretty. If you're a human, you want to work together with other known humans. But if you're a Cylon, like realize like there are like abilities that seem like they're only good for humans that are actually horrible for humans. And the beauty and the elegance of the design of the base game especially is everything that you can do that is good for humans can also be bad for humans. And that's just, I really like that.
Yeah.
And I encourage them to give it another shot and play it with a group of people that have some experience, or even read some play-by forums, because those are guys that have played it a ton, and especially if they like really get into the characters, it can be a lot of fun to read.
Where are you reading those things up?
Two places. The Something Awful Forums has a kind of like play-by forum setup. And then also on Board Game Geek, they have many of those as well. The only issue with some of those is occasionally, and you'll get people that are from like non-native English-speaking places.
Oh yeah, I'm writing! Yes.
And it can be difficult. I mean, you want to play with those people because like strategically they're fine. But the game is so much about communication that when you can't understand what the person is saying, you immediately think they're a Cylon, even if they're not a Cylon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Big
so
problem.
that's something that does not happen in the Something Awful forums and will occasionally happen in the play-by forums on Board Game Geek.
It would be great for us to record like one really good session and then do like a video series out of this. You know, like a very detailed, you know.
I mean, yeah, I could do my analysis. But I mean,
And
the thing is like,
can we just stop the LP now and go do that?
But it's like I'm afraid because like I'm almost playing a different game now because like I've said, I've read an account of about like 200 to 300 of these games. So like I'm thinking like on like 16-dimensional chess is like my version of Battlestar Galactica, and everybody's like, hey, I wonder if I should like be a dick now.
Yeah, but so the reason why I brought it up is because there's a new
there's a new
game in town.
Big Daddy, well, a supposed contender to the throne, right?
Yes, a New Angelus. We talked about it before, but now
and there've been many, right? There've been many people that have claimed we are the Battlestar Galactica killers, right? This is not the first. This will not be the
a lot
last.
of people said like this is a common thing to say. Oh, this is the new Battlestar Galactica. But this one was made by one of the guys whom actually made one of the Battlestar Galactica expansions.
Daybreak, which is a great one. The best one.
Yes.
The only one that got it right.
Yes. And it is called New Angelus, by the same publisher, by Fantasy Flight Games. And I had now opportunity to play it twice. And I love it. And when people say this is Battlestar Galactica 2.0, I understand why they're saying this. It is so the reason why I find this very, very cool is that I find in Battlestar Galactica when you are a Cylon, it's kind of like a very binary thing. In that it's very clear what your goal is, and it's very clear what everybody else's goal is, and it's very easy for the good guys, to just keep the Cylon out of the game, and that's it. And with New Angelus, everything is kind of shades of gray, like because the good guys, so to speak, they're not cooperating because
it's a grudging alliance.
Yeah, there's still winners and losers among the good guys if they win. And so, for example, the guy who's behind from the good guys is kind of incentivized to cooperate with the bad guys, because he will lose the game anyway. So he kind of like turns into like a mini Cylon, so to speak.
He's just out to destroy everyone else, or
because he will rock the boat because he won't be on the boat when the boat's.
So yeah, he plays exclusively selfish at that point, and nobody can really blame the guy.
And that makes the game very dynamic and very unpredictable. It's beautiful. So you heard some reviews of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course I did my research, did my due diligence, and there was one review in particular, and again, I don't normally listen to this guy, but there's not a ton of reviews out there yet, so you kind of got to take what you got to get.
Yeah.
And his complaint is that there are board game states from the setup where it's possible there's not like a Federalist, right?
Yes.
And in games like that, the game's almost too directly competitive, in that, it's if you're behind in something like that, it's a little bit more difficult to get ahead, because the other players aren't feeling threatened because there's not somebody that's actively there trying to blow things up, right?
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I haven't played too many games where the first game we played was like this, like we didn't have a bad guy, but we were so inexperienced.
I like how the government
at this
is
point.
the bad guy.
Huh?
Clearly, they are used to American politics if they think government's the bad guy.
Well, everybody is the bad guy in this game, but there was no Federalist guy in this game. So that was the game that he mentioned. But we were so inexperienced. This was the first game, kind of like it has the same problem with the Battlestar Galactica, where you kind of have to play your first game until you realize what's going on.
Right, and there's a house rule I do in Battlestar Galactica. We stack the loyalty deck slightly
Ooh, Cthulhu.
to greatly increase the odds of a pre-sleeper Cylon, but also greatly decrease the odds of there being double pre-sleeper Cylon. How do I explain that? You're almost guaranteed a Cylon before sleeper phase, and you're guaranteed not to have double sleeper pre-sleeper.
Yeah, so you make sure that there's always bad guys at the right moment and not too many bad guys.
It's almost guaranteed that there will be a bad guy in the beginning, but there will never be two, because whenever there's two, the game's over. There's two Cylons pre-sleeper. It's just.
By the way, what kind of mission is this? Like, what are we supposed to even fight?
Just the Tigrex.
The Tigrex.
Okay, so the other guy is just bonus.
He's just here.
Okay,
Just hanging out.
he's just hanging. I see how these kinds of house rules could also develop in New Angeles.
Or it's the sort of thing where I would argue that you'd almost want to guarantee that there would be a Federalist.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not.
It's one of those weird ones where...
But it would be maybe too obvious based on my understanding of the rules. Because it's always the player that doesn't seem to be too concerned about getting points and is only too willing.
There's the cool thing about New Angeles, like because in Battlestar Galactica, I often felt, maybe you are more experienced, maybe you see more nuances, but I often felt there was never a really good reason for the good guys to sabotage the mission.
Oh, they would never sabotage the mission.
Yeah.
There was always very clear,
never.
like, if you're doing something against the mission, then you must be the bad guy. And in New Angeles, you get like all those little incentives where you can basically screw the city that you're trying to protect in order to get an advantage over the others.
Yeah, it's like, from what I've understood, was basically like, even if you aren't the Federalist, oftentimes you want the city to fall to some extent, because then it gives you a better advantage over your competitives. And then it's just when you start getting to the point where you're failing, the city is failing so much it can't recover, and then you're like, oh wait, is he the Federalist?
Yeah. And so there's kind of like a mini Federalist system where each turn you get a mini mission of, you will benefit from, you will get extra points when there's criminals in your city. So you won't actually do anything against criminals. And then you will get more points yourself, but you will also screw the city.
So, in response to, it's rare to see good people do things that seem like it's sabotaging the mission, right? The most powerful pro-human play you can do in Battlestar is to play an executive order on someone.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It gives them great action economy. And it will overall, in the long run, make it possible to even combat Cylons. Once all the Cylons are revealed, right, it's basically an executive order party, and everybody's executive ordering everyone all the time.
Yes.
The sabotage is like, can you trust the person that's next to you or near you? Or, when do you play in? Do you, to some small extent...
Oh, Cthulhu! What's happening?
I didn't even know where I was at, really.
This is a very, very dynamic mission.
I hate Tigrex.
He's a tough guy. Yeah, so you were saying?
So, to some extent, advanced play has players, like, considering the fact that pre-sleeper, they might become a Cylon. And so, the real genius is when you start getting a little bit of game theory in there.
It's time for some game theory.
And you start thinking like, well, I want to do well, but I don't want to do too well.
Yeah.
And then like post-sleeper, someone's thinking like, well, this person acted slightly shady at this point in the game. Did they do that because they're just hedging their bets? Or they're doing that because they're a Cylon?
Yeah. And from what I understand, like in New Angeles, you have this all the time. Not even like in this kind of advanced thinking kind of way, but it's like very obvious. There's very obvious reasons all the time for you to...
Yeah, because you always have one enemy, and the question is that enemy everyone? Or is that enemy just one person?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's so many reasons. Like sometimes you want to be, for example, sometimes your ability is, let's say you're an NBN, right? And your ability, you will get more money if you start removing unrest in a city. whenever you remove unrest in a city, like there's like a strike or something, and you deal with a strike, then you will get additional credits. And so your strategy might be to actually cause unrest in a city, so you have to remove it again later on.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
And so that's why everybody has all those good reasons to remove. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh. To remove. We did it! Yay! So yeah, that's what I loved about this, and I understand maybe if I play it more, maybe I will understand the criticism. But so far, it's
there has to be some levity. I mean, not every game's going to be Battlestar that's going to have 200 to 300 playthroughs of it. Theoretically, right? So it may be that New Angeles is perfect for 20 to 30 playthroughs, which I think most people would be satisfied if any of their board games got that many before like a real meta evolved around it.
Yeah.
Like I also would compare it to like the Resistance Avalon or something like that.
That's a great game.
Where, especially for what you pay for it, you've gotten 100 playthroughs out of it. You get to a pretty hard meta with your group, and maybe you don't play it as often because it's like people know who everyone is as soon as the cards are dealt because
they can read the facial expressions.
You just like you're
just always assume Shepard's a Cylon.
Yeah. My favorite moment in the Resistance Avalon is somebody like across the table from me, like after it was like in between sessions said, you wouldn't have the guts or the brains to put like a fail card in the first round if you were like a traitor. In the next round, it was me and another person, and somebody else played a card that was like a fail. And they're like, it was you, Shepard, because they said you don't have the guts or the brains. And I was just like glowing red with anger. Because not only was I called not having the guts or the brains, but also, people thought it was me. So yeah, that was tilted me pretty hard. Fun. So, board games are fun.
Yeah, they are, and definitely we're gonna talk some more about it some other time.
We're gonna have to, maybe a little bit more in the next episode. New Managers. I don't think we finished this. Yeah.
But something I wanted to say is, if you guys watching this on YouTube, especially, if you guys want us to maybe make like a small series about Shepard sharing maybe the experience of Battlestar Galactica somehow, maybe we're gonna record a session or something, and we're gonna take it a little bit apart. Let us know in the comment sections if you want us to go there. I think that might be really fun, but I'm not sure how we're going to pull this off. We're going to move on to the next episode. I hope you'll join us next time around. And as always, good luck and good hunt.
Bye.
Hashtag Shepard, no guts, no brains.
There is no Shepard. There is only Gaius Baltar.
No more Mr. Nice Gaius.
At least for Gaius, he definitely had the brains. I mean, clearly he had no guts. He was the most spineless, craven coward on Battlestar Galactica. But he was smart.
Well, because he was a Cylon.
No. Don't you dare say that. But I think my favorite moment in that entire series is that like opportunity he had after having sex with some random political intern in a bathroom, like the scummiest thing possible, just like randomly being thought of as being like a good political candidate. He's like, yeah, you know what, maybe I should run for politics. Why not? Yeah, just had sex in a stall. I mean, sure, seems like something a politician would do, or get peed on. Hold on, I don't want to get killed. I'm not going to talk about peeing on presidents. Feeling like you're always carrying around a powder stone? Squatty Potty. Take a load off. Brought to you by Squatty Potty.